Alright guys, you saw the title of the last video. In this video I'm going to be reviewing a 100 elo game that's honestly just pretty bad, to be honest. And this is a very bad 100 elo game, and yeah, you saw from the title. These players blundered checkmate in one move 3 times in the first 8 moves. And yeah, let's just begin. But before I begin, guys, if you just so, please drop a like and subs. I would really help the channel a ton. If you really just so, you can also drop super thanks. Without further ado, let's just begin. By the way, if it's difficult to hear my voice, just turn on captions. A really quick thing I would like to mention, if you're wondering why I didn't make a video yesterday, it's because yeah, my screen recorder actually had a sound problem, so yeah, I kind of had to deal with that, and yeah, now let's just begin, pretty much. So we have the move f4. Already a really bad start, because this move literally just makes the king really weak immediately. Like, this move doesn't really achieve anything, because now an attack over here could actually be a problem. And it's literally called the bird's opening, according to chess.com, although I don't really know why you would play this opening, but okay, I mean, black plays e5, and now the game is technically winning for white, because this just blunders a pawn, and we immediately have captures, obviously. Then we have the move queen h4 check, and now it's actually winning for white by an entire point. And you can just check all the pieces if you want. There is literally no legal move but one, and that move is g3. Now we have the move queen g4, and now it's winning by 2 points. Now, if I'm being completely honest with all of you, probably in this position, I just play something like pawn e3, maybe pawn d4, because, yeah, playing pawn e3, maybe they'll end up blundering their queen, and you can just capture immediately. Pawn d4 just reinforces the center even more immediately. But instead, we have the brilliancy, pawn h3. This is just mate in 1. Queen captures on g3 is just mate in 1 immediately. But apparently, according to the engine, this is actually a gambit. Wow, this is actually a gambit. Okay. But obviously, if black captured on g3, we wouldn't have a video. So instead, we have queen f5. Okay. Now I have to move pawn d4, reinforcing the center. So besides this mistake, white is actually playing pretty well. Then we have bishop b4 check. This position just block with the bishop, and that's exactly what happens, thankfully. Although also you could just block with the pawn, or I guess with the knight, but I really wouldn't recommend it, because if they capture, it could be pretty annoying to deal with. So now we have to move bishop e7. And now we have the brilliancy, pawn g4. Bishop here is once again just mate in 1. Bishop here, h4. That's just mate in 1 immediately. No questions. But obviously, if that happened, we wouldn't have a video. So instead, we have queen e6. Okay. But now, we have the move that makes just so little sense that I can't even explain it. Like, seriously, if you couldn't see the board over here, I'm pretty sure you couldn't even guess what the move was. For some reason, they played the move pawn a3. And once again, they blundered mate in 1. Bishop h4. Once again, it's mate in 1. But once again, guys, if that happened, we wouldn't have a video. So instead, we have queen d5. And now the game is just completely winning. Now, in this situation, you should probably play something like knight g3, or I guess if you want, rook h2. But white doesn't play any of those, and instead just plays bishop b4 and just instantly blunders the rook. I mean, at least they didn't blunder mate in 1 this time, but okay. And I guess the idea was to offer a trade, probably. But immediately, instead of having queen captures on h1, we have queen captures on d4. And black spent 10 seconds on this. What? 10 seconds, and okay, if they didn't notice this, that's fine. Okay, for 100 elo, that's fine if they didn't notice this. But like this, this is also just, okay, not trading is fine as well, because, you know, you're not like losing the bishop. It can like still be recaptured by the king or the knight. But to be honest, I don't know why you would capture the king. But like, just blundering the queen like this, What does this achieve? White just captures the queen instantly. But then we have the move c5. I guess black probably assumed this was just an attack on both the queen and the bishop. But this isn't an attack at all, and this actually just blunders a pawn. Yeah, we just have bishop captures, and thankfully we did not have queen captures. Anyways, now we have the move knight a6, just attacking the bishop. In this position, 100% just trade, no questions about it. But we don't have that. Instead, we have defending the bishop with a pawn, but still, that's completely fine. Knight captures, pawn recaptures, thankfully not queen captures. Then we have like an offer of another pawn. I just capture immediately. Yeah, we just have captures, then captures, and with the queen, you can probably just capture because this pawn is actually completely defended because, yeah, all of this. So we just have captures immediately. Then we have bishop moves. Then we just have pawn push, offering a trade. And I mean, if they don't capture, well, yeah, you can just capture the bishop immediately. And the bishop is blundered. Immediately, just capture. But instead, well, actually, no, we do have bishop captures. Oh, white is actually playing this very well. I mean, past the time that they blundered checkmate like 3 times in one move, they're playing pretty good now. Now we have knight captures. And now it just looks like black has given up. Like, what does this move achieve? They spent 17 seconds on this move. What does this achieve? It just loses the knight. It instantly just loses the knight. So we just have pawn captures instantly. And we have bishop development. I mean, honestly, at this point, you could probably just defend it with the king and it'll be totally fine, but the pawn is defended already, so it doesn't really matter. Instead, we have h3, defending a pawn that was already defended, but still, that's completely fine. For a 100, I mean, white is really playing like a 600. Past the blundering of checkmate immediately multiple times. But past that, they're already playing like a 600. Then we have bishop f4. I have no idea what this even achieves. This just blunders the bishop. But obviously, we don't have captures. Because at this point, yeah, there's no way white will be 100 low. Bishop b7. Or maybe this is danger levels, I'm not sure, because now the bishop and the rook are in danger. And there's no way you're going to save both of them. So we just have pawn captures, then we just have captures of rook. But now, yeah, black captures white's rook. Then we have pawn push. Then we have king moves, apparently, because, well, this was the winning move. This would just win the game instantly. And now we just have a blunder of a bishop. And I mean, white is still completely winning. Now we have knight moves, pawn attack, knight moves back. Now we have rook moves. And I mean, in this situation, a move like queen b4 is actually completely fine because, well, you're just up so much material that it literally doesn't matter if you just sacrifice like a higher value material just for a lower value, because even if you sacrifice the rook for the bishop and you sacrifice the queen for the rook, you're still going to have 2 knights. So 100% you'll win. But instead we have this move, which is still okay, but that just blunders a pawn with check. King moves. Now we have capture of another pawn. Now we have queen attacks, king moves. Now we have this move, which just blunders knight immediately. And now really, I don't think white is in a great situation. Like, they're still winning, obviously, but the problem is that they've literally begun to blunder everything. So we have king moves, I'm assuming maybe for this. Probably. Now we have pawn push. Now we have knight moves. Now we have rook moves. Now we have knight moves back to defend the pawn. Now we have pawn push. Just capture this pawn. Now it's literally mate in 10. That's exactly what happens. Now it's... Oh, it was mate in 7 apparently. Okay, now it's mate in 6. King moves. Now we have the capture of a pawn. Now we have rook moves. Now it's literally mate in 4. But instead we have pawn captures, which is still okay. I mean, even I would play this move. Oh, wait, it's actually... Oh, it's mate in 21. Okay. Then we have pawn d6. Mate in 7. You can probably play something like this, to be honest. And yeah, that's exactly what happens. Now the king moves. Now we have king moves. Rook moves, and that's just a total blunder of a rook. And yes, that's exactly what happens. Now we have capture of a pawn, which literally just blunders the knight and the rook. Okay. And apparently black decided they were... Oh, no, wait, no! That doesn't blunder! Because the queen pins the bishop. There's no way white is playing like 100. They're actually playing so much better than 100, actually. Okay, but we just have the capture of the knight. Rook moves. Bishop b2. Queen e5. Instant blunder of the queen for no reason. That's exactly what happens. I mean, probably in this situation, you probably just play something like this. Where they would capture, then you would capture back. And after black captures, you do this. Anyway. Okay, let me just show that again. Like, yeah, probably something like this. And then you just slowly promote the pawn. Probably you could play something like this. But instead we have king d2, which is still okay. And we have bishop moves. Now pawn push. Yeah, now we have sacrifice. And this is actually a pretty smart move. Because now the pawn is going to promote on its own 100%. Like, if you showed me this game, I would 100% say that white is probably something like 800 elo maybe. Now we have pawn push. a5. Pawn push. King moves. Queen. And then slowly but surely, white brings their king in an attempt to checkmate. And, you know, they'll make it eventually. And just kidding, they stalemate. Brilliancy. What did we just watch? Opening that made absolutely no sense. The blunder of checkmate in one move. Then a few more weird moves. Then the blunder of checkmate in one move. Then a few more moves. Another blunder of checkmate in one move. And then just the blunder of a rook, but that wasn't found. Instead, just the queen being blundered. Black thought this was a double attack. It wasn't. And then a few more trades. Then the blunder of a bishop. Then the blunder of a knight. And then the blunder of a bishop and a rook. Then we have the capture of a pawn. Then we have the capture of a rook. And white didn't see this move. And yeah, this rook was blundered. Then we have this pawn push. And then the bishop was blundered. And then, slowly but surely, the knight was blundered. And yeah, then we had this capture. Then we had a few more captures. And a few more checks. The rook was blundered. And I didn't see this immediately. But no, the bishop was not blundered. Well, no, not the bishop. I mean, the rook was not blundered. Because, well, the bishop was pinned. Then we had capture of the knight. Instead of capturing the bishop, they decided to move the rook. Then we had bishop moves. Then we had queen moves, which just blunders the queen in one move. Then we had king moves. And then, yeah, the pawn promoted. And then, slowly but surely, white attempted to checkmate black, but in the end, they ended up with a stalemate. Brilliancy. Okay, that's the whole video. I'll see you guys in the next video. If you have any suggestions, you can comment them down below. If you have any games you want to send me, you can comment them down below. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next